coming through when the growth look good on you. Best believe they wanna screw now. I've been trying to climb, devil threw me in the dark. Baby, don't be insecure, you can still go make a mark like blow. Could never let them drain my soul now. Blow. Table turning like doorknobs, wow. Blow. I think I'm about to set sail. I'm a walking, living legend, walking with my chest out. Life keeps dealing me cards, I keep fitting in love.
Yo, big up. Big up everybody. I'm laughing at something else. Man. Hey, big up everybody, man, inside. Apologies. I would have done this stream a bit earlier, but this morning I've just been having to run around and sort out a few personal stuff. So yeah, just had to sort that out and all of that good stuff. But who cares about all of that rubbish? We're here to talk about, football is coming home, We spoke before the tournament, we were, bro, this guy behind the scenes and stuff. We spoke before the tournament about, the ways that Gareth Southgate can play, all the different stuff that he can do, and et cetera, et cetera. And we spoke about different players, the players that he's bringing. We were actually a few of us were definitely looking at it thinking, you know what? I actually think he's brought a couple players. He hasn't done the usual stuff like where obviously he did bring Luke Shaw, fair enough, but outside of that, he didn't bring too many other players where you're like, oh, he brought Henderson again. Oh, he brought Calvin Phillips again. Like, he didn't do all of that stuff. Mark Gay, Eze, Wharton, Gordon. We thought, yo, this brother is actually doing big stuff. So I thought, okay, yeah, fair enough. 2 games into the tournament, England are playing a shit as they always do. Nothing's changed. Absolutely nothing has changed, So it is what it is. We're going to do the match reaction. Thank you, David, again, by the way. I didn't see that I put preview, so I've just changed it now to the match reaction. But you guys already know, of course, what it is. I'm joined by Harris and this loser in the background, this absolute loser. What gone? What, Harris, first of all, we'll go to you. How are you doing today, bro? How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just enjoying this this LFC scarf. I was questioned yesterday about whether I'm a City fan or a Liverpool fan, so just enjoying it at the moment.
Yeah, guys, listen, don't be questioning my guy, man. Don't be questioning my guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, if he's a Liverpool fan, he's a Liverpool fan. You know what I mean? Don't question the loyalty. GTV2, what are you saying, bro? Like, how are you? Like, what's up? Why is your name changed anyway? That's what I want to know.
I'm good, man. I'm good. GTV1.
Why did you even save the picture? Why did you even save the picture? You're actually a prick. Like I said, don't worry. I got you. Anyway, let me get to the comments anyways. Big up everybody in the damn building. Big up Steve in the building. Steve, if you're free, let me know. I'll send you the link. And yeah, man, just hop in, man. Big up Hakeem, of course, in the building. Alexander saying not supporting England feels good. Nah, trust, man. It's actually it's jokes when you're watching like international teams. Like if it's not really Ghana, I'll keep it a buck. I'll just pick like a team, and so my team for the tournament is Spain, innit? So that's the kind of team that I want to watch, and I want to see them, do really well. But obviously to focus on England throughout this thing, it's just interesting. And I think Jerry even picked up something before the tournament even started, or maybe during the friendlies. He said the overreactions of people to certain things, and I feel like we've seen quite a lot of that over these last 2 games for England anyway in this tournament, in terms of certain players who has done well, who's not done so well. Another thing as well, which now I knew from before, but again, I implore people, don't focus so much on Sofa Score, Flash Score, and listen, all of those sites, big up to your damn selves, because you do a lot of good work. I do applaud you for the work that you do, but I can't lie. You need to either explain to us what your metrics are when you're doing the player ratings, so that people at least then can have a better understanding before they then jump on social media and stuff like that and use that as like a form of argument. Because I'm watching these games and I'm like, there's no way, and forget my harsh ratings, but there's no way that you're giving the same rating as like you're giving someone a 7 or an 8, for example. And I'm like, are you watching the same game? But then you gave someone a 6. And I'm like, him a 6, but that guy's a... So again, you might just need to explain that one so that we can all, of course, understand. But I'll go to you, Harris, first, and then I'll get into the rest of the comments. As I said, we're here to talk about the illustrious England. Just a general overview. How did you kind of see the game, man?
I think, with the Serbia game and now with the Denmark game, I think England have started all right. But it's always in the second half, where it's like they sit back and like they're trying to soak pressure, which is why Southgate keeps taking off Trent for Gallagher. And it's like, you guys are not going to get through the tournament if you keep playing like this. Starting off well and then just dropping off, because Denmark did they did have some opportunities. Same with Serbia, and it's like on another day, a France or Spain, a Germany, they may put those chances away. So England have it coming for them.
Nah, man, I hear that, man. Jerry, did you see the game yesterday? I don't know if you watched the game yesterday, man, but let me know your thoughts, man.
I watched a bit of it, and it was same type of stuff. Like, I think there's one player there that in the team that's ruining everything for everyone else. Like, I know you can start to like, I think you can micro-analyze and look at like, X player don't look comfortable like being deep. X player is not really bringing the ball out. He's not doing well. X player's not playing centrally, so he's not playing centrally. So he's out wide, so he's been quite, neglected. But I think there's one player that's just causing. He's affecting the team so much, like to the point where there's nothing anyone can do. You could put anyone in these positions, you could rotate any of these players, and I think the result would be quite similar, in my opinion.
Talking it, bro. Who's the player, man? Don't leave us in suspense.
Yeah, Kane, man. Kane. I think.
I knew it was good.
Kane's. Yeah, no, but Kane, like, he his legs are gone, innit? Like, he looks like a vet right now. Like, he looks.
But
like
he's never really been fast or had that kind of athleticism.
Yeah, he's never really been like that.
But he was sharp though. Sharp.
Fair.
Like, now he's not even sharp. He's not even like sharp to come and get the ball. He's walking and doing this slow jogging thing. Any pressure from a centre back, he falls on his knees and he's like all scrambling around. He's losing the ball. His link-up play hasn't been outstanding either. Like, he hasn't found like mad passes because there's no runs in behind. Like, he doesn't want to do his job, just stay out of play and stay high and keep the defense as high as possible, especially that 3 at the back. He's now causing everyone to be deeper. It means that the likes of Trent, when we know, like, everyone knows, like I said myself, he's not a midfielder. He hasn't played in midfield. So there's certain like movements and stuff that will come naturally to the Højbjerg that won't come naturally to Trent because you don't receive the ball there all the time. But you have him in there because he's the risk you play with, knowing that if you can stretch a team, he's going to find you. You look at the stats, he's got 5 chances created, most chances created by any player in the 55 minutes he's on the pitch. However, it doesn't amount to anything because at the end of the day, there's no movement up front. Like, I know G spoke about movement when it comes to Liverpool. This was even worse. This is even worse.
I prefer Liverpool's movement over this. I'll tell you that for free.
Saka's not moving across onto the left to kind of stretch them. Foden, when he was moving in this game, as opposed to the first game, he was moving a bit more, and you could see he was probably one of England's better players, like in terms of getting on the ball, trying to make stuff happen. Everyone else is so static. You've got Declan Rice, who's like coming mad deep. But even he doesn't look comfortable coming on the ball, getting on the ball in those positions there because he's kicking the ball out for a throw-in. like it's. But this is all starting. But this is all starting from the fact that we are not stretching the team. We're not stretching the team, and because we're not stretching them, all that happen is that the other team's got the ball. They're popping it about. We're dropping deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. We then win the ball back, but when we win the ball back, there's no runners in it. There's no sprints in behind. There's no Salah making a run in behind where Virgil can play that ball over the top and you can, wax lyrical about his pass. There's nothing. All they've got is Rice there. Rice and Trent. That's like role isn't to go and get on the ball in those areas, is to kind of move outside of the pocket to get the ball and play the passes. So you're in a situation now where, you know, like this is where it is. Like Southgate is trying to do what he hasn't done as England manager, which I was praising him for, which is he's trying to fit all the ballers he's got in the team without just looking at it and be like, you know what, one of these guys are gonna have to get sacrificed. Like someone's gonna have to get sacrificed. It might have to be Foden that gets sacrificed. It might have to be Kane that gets sacrificed. It might have to be Jude Bellingham that gets sacrificed. Yeah, because guess what? That performance that Jude Bellingham showed, like it proved to me, like it's what I said on our stream on the stream last time, is that he hasn't got, like, Jude Bellingham isn't he's not the profile of player he is. He's not going to go and be a Messi equivalent, a Neymar equivalent, or even a Foden equivalent. This is why we're talking about Foden being in those central areas. He's not that way inclined in those areas. Yeah, he's a very, very, very good player, but albeit like, you'll never look at him and be like, yeah, Jude Bellingham was more talented than like I don't know, a Modric or more talented. You wouldn't look at it like that because these guys, yeah, but he's an super effective player. But he's not going to be able to go and 9 times out of 10 win you games the way he did the week before. And even then, yeah, he got the goal and he was getting on the ball and stuff, but it didn't really amount to anything. Whereas what you need is these players, that the players that are going to bring you that X factor, and he's not that. So when you're relying on Jude Bellingham to just do that, yeah, it's not gonna win you a game though. Yeah, he will look good, but it's not gonna win you a game like that. Your Musialas are gonna win you a game. It's those players in those areas. Like, I'm talking as a player that's played. Like, I look at it and I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Like both, I'm good, but I'm not gonna win you a game like that. I might get a set piece, give me a dead ball, I might play a good pass. I'm not going to win you a game like that. Same way Trent's not going to win you a game like that. He could be the difference between playing a pass in there, but you need to go and make sure you're getting the best out of Foden. You need to make sure that you can create that space for him. If there's no space for these players, they're going to come deeper to get the ball. When they come deep to get the ball, they're standing on Rice, and this is Bellingham and Foden. They're now standing on Rice and Trent's toes, so they're not getting on the ball. And then you've got Kane that's coming deep as well. And then Saka wants to naturally come deep as well, and he makes one running behind. And it's mad. And the highest person at one point was Kieran Trippier. It's madness. It's madness. It's like at this point, I don't know if it's I think, like, I don't know. I don't think Southgate's an idiot, innit? When I look at him, I don't think he's an idiot. I think he's actually telling Kane, like, bruv, I need you to stay high. And man's ignoring him. But he can't he can't not play him. But I think he can't not play him because if he doesn't play him, he's the captain. He gets goals, and he just come off the season where he scored 40 goals. The media would kill him for this. The media would kill him. You see how they're trying to kill him with the Cole Palmer, Cole Palmer and Kobe Main who's sitting on the bench, and they're like,
"Oh, sitting on the bench, yeah."
Imagine that was Kane sitting on the bench and England put up a stinker like that, because guess it might just be England's level. Like, we don't know. This just might be England's level as a team right now, innit? And we're overgassing it because we don't know how they are as a unit. It doesn't matter about the players you've got. But what I'm saying is, he can't. I don't think he can go and drop Kane, and I don't think he could do that. Like, Bellingham's another one. How do you drop Bellingham? Why don't you take Bellingham off and put Foden in the 10 and put Gordon out wide, because you know he's going to run in behind?
Jerry, I said the same thing yesterday to my boy. I said the same. Why don't you take Bellingham off the pitch, bro? Take him, but you're not doing anything. Exactly. Take him off.
Exactly. Sorry, why don't you? But why don't you? What I don't get is you take Trent off, which is fair. Like, take him off. If it's not working, take him off. But what you do, you bring on Gallagher, which is calm. But then you bring the next subs you make are Bowen and flipping Watkins that are going to make runs in behind. So now no one can play the pass.
Yeah.
No, bro. It makes sense. It didn't make sense.
I swear.
So I don't think, and that's what doesn't make sense to me. And I think it's just a situation where, in an ideal world, innit, like, Bellingham doesn't have the season he had, Kane doesn't have the season he had, Foden doesn't have the season he had, and then he could start going and doing whatever he wants. Because I think if it was me, listen, we're going 4-4-2 up front, yeah? 4-4-2 up front. Yeah, standard old school England, yeah? In the midfield, you can play your Declan Rice and your Bellingham or whatever. If you don't want to play Trent, that's fine. Yeah. You then go Bowen on the right. Yeah. You go Gordon on the left. And up front, you go Watkins and Tony. And you just do little man, big man football, bruv. And England know how to do that well. You pump it, you say it into Tony. Tony sets it back. You got Watkins making runs in behind. You got Gordon making runs in behind. You got Bowen making runs in behind. That's going to be more effective for England than trying to do this thing. You're trying to ball out, but England are not that nation. They've never been that nation. They've never been that nation to ball out with these guys like in a system where you don't like. Look at what Denmark were doing. Look how they were moving the ball. Yeah, just you know, you got to be humble enough sometimes. Like G, yeah. I'm 6'4", yeah, and I can be physical, yeah. English, I can be physical, bruv. If I'm playing up against an Iniesta, you think I'm trying to go and do like ball rolls and step overs and try nutmeg him and that? The man's like half my size, bruv. I'm gonna try weights him.
Yeah, of course. You play to your strengths.
You know what? This ain't. I'm not getting into this thing about who's got a better touch in tight areas. Because 9 times out of 10, you're going to be better than me. But guess what? I'm going to impose myself on you, innit? I'm going to make sure, like, bro, you know I'm there. I'm going to do those basics.
Nice.
Do it. Like, do it. Go old school Leicester. Why? How did Leicester win the league? Little man, big man, runners in behind, dogs in midfield. Drinkwater and Kante in midfield. Dogs. You had Drinkwater spraying some passes, and you had the dogs in midfield. Just do that. Do that. And if Kane doesn't want to stay high, doesn't want to do his job, bench him. Klose was getting benched.
Yeah,
for Germany.
Yeah, facts.
All-time goal scorer in World Cups and that. That's fine. You got to, at this point now, like, you just, obviously they haven't planned for it, and they're going to be, obviously, that's the problem. But I think England just need to realize what they are, innit? You got some techie ballers and that, but on the actual level of it, they're not those guys, innit? Like they're not. Like maybe there's one or two that you can probably say maybe they are. Like a Foden, I can say maybe he is, innit? But you're not in that system. So unfortunately, it's one of those ones where you just gotta hold it, innit? Like that's not what you're gonna do for this team. What you're gonna do for the team is this, but you're gonna do this well.
Hey.
But imagine you try to. I've said it before. Imagine England try to ball against like Spain, and then they get popped.
Oh no! If we're talking to Spain that I watched yesterday, no, that's not.
But it's my point.
Popped off the pop.
What with Fabian Ruiz? Like a man want to. This is my point. This is my point.
Running in behind. Nah.
This is my point. A man want to grill, and this is what I'm trying to say. A man want to grill like Fabian Ruiz is rubbish for PSG. He didn't do anything. But you're not getting it. Like these guys, when it comes to a footballing level, like understanding like movements and patterns, like they've done it for so long, it's natural, innit? The same way you man are talking about Trent as a system, they know what they're doing. It's a plug and play system. England throughout the ranks, how do they play? When you go down the non-leagues, how do they play? When you go and play Sunday League, how do you man play? Because Sunday League in Spain, they don't go long ball like that. They're all playing at the back. It's natural for them. Just do what England's good at and be the best at it.
Yeah.
You know what? It's mad. If Klopp was manager of England, England would be crazy. England would be moving crazy.
I reckon they would.
If Klopp had England if England had Klopp as a manager, boy, because the press is going to be mad and they're going to be so direct. They're just going to make sure they're direct. Just be direct.
Intense all this passing, every game.
Side to side. No, just be direct, bro. Just be direct.
You know what? Now I come to think of it, yeah, and this is probably one of the things that I never really thought about with Klopp. Maybe that's why he was so, like, he was, obviously Liverpool fans, obviously they love him, blah, blah, blah. But maybe that's why he was able to take to English football so well. And at first, why the media used to like him and his style of football when they used to watch him over in Germany, because he was just very intense and direct. And as you say, that's basically England's DNA, which is we want to be intense, we want to be direct. So we're going to do the long balls. And we see, and me and Jerry, like, we're not going to sit here and lie. We'll cuss his football till the cows come home, 100%, because it's just not what we want to see from when we're watching our football teams. Fair enough. But for England, and this is tournament football, bearing in mind, this probably would work. that direct kind of big up S Wade in the building, that Sean Dyche type of style. Like, and hey, Sean Dyche has been doing all right. Yeah, sorry, go on.
And exactly. And what's mad as well is as a country, England haven't got the patience or the ability to, like at times when England's just defending, be comfortable in those situations. England aren't comfortable like that. You see, like Italy's performance, you go and hear what they're saying. They're like, yeah, we made a mistake, but it was calm. We had chances to win the game. Like, they're not looking at it like, wow, it was terrible. If it was England, it would be like, oh my God, how did this happen? We're just not good enough. France, when they went and played, who did they play?
What the other day?
Austria.
Yeah, Austria, yeah.
Bruv, if that was England versus Austria and England put up the France performance, they'll be grilling the English team. They'll be like, oh my God, they can't do this. Look, they were under pressure. Kane missed an open goal. I mean, that's just not good enough. Like, bruv, they didn't look at it like that. They were like, yeah, we just won our game. Like, it's calm. We're comfortable. It's a tournament, bruv. We're just trying to win and get through. And England, if you're going to try and want to play this type of football, that's fine, right? Even the football they're doing where I can see it. They're not looking to press, man. They're like, you come at us and we're going to be comfortable enough to break on you guys. And when you look at England's goal, that's how they scored. They were like that. They put pressure on. Obviously, the Walker won the ball mad high, like after they've lost the ball when we scored that way. Like England scored. But you've got to be comfortable, right? Forget what like style of football, like but this international football, bro, it's tournament football. You're trying to get to the next stage. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, you're playing one game. Like, style of play doesn't matter. I hear it. You want to win with the style of play. But if you had the defensive shape and you won with a style of play, you wouldn't care. But these fans would care. And it's the same way, like, the argument that people have with, like, it used to be with Mourinho or would be with like Simeone, when people argue, we don't want Simeone because it's too defensive for us. It's like, and I get it. It won't work. Like, if he went to Arsenal and tried to play defensive, the fans would hate it. It would be terrible, right? But you go somewhere where, like, again, Atletico Madrid, they're comfortable doing that. They'll sit back and they'll do their thing and they'll be comfortable in that situation. The fans are comfortable with it. And England, unfortunately, you just need to get comfortable that you're going to have to defend sometimes. Be comfortable. Look at the positives from the defensive standpoint. Walker's been good.
Yes.
Like Gahey's been good.
Yes.
Pickford's been good. He conceded one shot from distance. Like,
I don't feel like the defense is too much of a major problem, though. That's
exactly
really where my areas of
concern. It's not. But then you have to just choose. Would you rather England be a bit more expansive, but then get countered on and get opened up like a can of beans, or do you want to be a bit more conservative, where they can get through these games and not lose? Because ultimately, England haven't lost yet.
Yeah, very true.
That's how I look at it. Like, I don't know, like. When Poland are playing, in it, like, or when Austria or when Albania are playing, their fans are so comfortable with how they're playing, right? That defensive basis, that the energy in the crowd is good because they're happy with the defense. Romania, they're cheering the defending, but then they're able to attack and really go and be expansive going forward. We need to be like, humble yourself, understand that you're not at that level. You've won one major tournament in your history. Like, you're not that team. Relax and take it game by game, bro. Just take it game by game.
There's a question I wanted to ask you both. It's actually off the back of what Jerry's saying there. Harris, you see, for you, you see, when obviously just from how long you've obviously been watching England, obviously under Southgate and stuff. Obviously, Jerry mentioned in there, speaking about, but it sounds to me, it's like the expectations of what people see of England, right? In terms of thinking they're bigger than what they really and truly are, which is true. I feel like England have always thought they're this big fish, and I'm like, you can't be with one major tournament victory in your entire history. So I can't really call you that. But when we're looking at England, what is their style of play to you? Like, what do you see when you watch England? And specifically, obviously, what you've seen, let's say, in yesterday's game and in the first game.
I don't even know what style of football that is. That's like, when Southgate goes to watch games, I feel like he's just trying to take ideas from other coaches. So I saw Rice taking set pieces before, and I feel like he's got that from Arsenal, because he takes set pieces for Arsenal. He takes corners for them, and I feel like he's just trying to kind of copy what other what other club managers do, and I don't think he has an actual vision or plan. Like if you look at other teams like Germany, I see patterns of play. Everyone knows their role. Who else? Spain. Spain is another team who have a good identity. England don't have an identity. Like I'm seeing Trent pick up positions out wide at times, sitting in front of the back four. I don't think he actually knows how to use Trent properly. I think Trent as a 6 in a pivot. I'm not too sure about it because I think you reposted it yesterday and I reposted it yesterday as well. You said no. I think it was someone else who said it. I think in Trent's mind, he thinks that pinging a long ball in front of a back four is the whole idea of a number 6. Really, and truly, it isn't. Like I don't think he's learned how to receive in a half turn. He probably has, but he just doesn't use it. All of these little things that, as a midfielder, that you should have, he doesn't have, or he doesn't use it. But he should be using it. So England as a whole, I don't know what that team is.
Nah, man. Listen, man. I agree. We'll get on to Trent, in a second, man. And again, big up everybody inside as well, man. Please make sure you are, of course, smashing that like button for us, please. You guys can obviously see here, and obviously Harris, you can see on the screen too, right next to you, actually, the passing between England. This is their passing yesterday. I mean, it's very telegraphed. Most of it is kind of the samey. Some of it was actually hilarious, especially when I'm looking at left wing and the attacking midfielder. So who's that? Jude.
They're holding hands.
Yeah, they're literally just holding hands there. You got Trent. I mean, he's in his own kind of area, in his own kind of space, but he's kind of close-ish to the right back. 2 centre backs obviously are in their own position. Declan Rice is kind of basically playing as the DM effectively because he's obviously over there chilling. The right winger, I mean, he had really nothing. He wasn't really passing to nobody. He's only kind of just playing with himself and who's that? Carl Walker at right back. Listen, man, it's to me, it's just when I see England, and it's a lot of. Let me just bring in Steve now. It's a lot of what Jerry was big up, Steve, man. It's a lot of what Jerry was saying, in his monologue there. I was just like, I don't understand what it is you're trying to do because you're trying to fit all of these bad boys onto the pitch, and that's fine. That I don't even have a problem with that. The problem I do have is that when you do get these bad boys on the pitch, so when we do have the Jude Bellinghams, the Trents, the Fodens, the Kanes, the Carl Walkers, the Declan Rices, all of these guys, Saka, all of these guys that we all say are very, very good players, and in their own right, they are very, very good players. When you're getting them on the pitch, I can't remember which commentator said it, but it's like them man were just looking around. They at one point, it's like they all looked at each other and were like, when do we press, or when do I go, or who should I be passing to, or why didn't I make that run, or why am I not in this position, or why are you not in that position? I'm like, I'm sorry, but one of the things that you mentioned, especially in that midfield area, which annoyed me the most, forget Trent, because everyone was crashing it on really and truly, he's probably the best midfielder that we actually had, but fair enough, crash it on him if you want to crash it on him, that's up to you. My issue was, he started to Southgate comes out at the end and he mentions, we don't have a replacement for Calvin Phillips and whatnot. Then he mentions obviously in the post-match conference talking about we've been trying to find combinations for the midfield for about 7 years or 6 years or whatever it was that he said. Again, someone in the chat can obviously just let me know the exact amount of years that he said, but he mentioned a number of years. And I said, so hold on. You've been manager of this England team for this amount of time. You've had Calvin Phillips, Jordan Henderson, Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham, Phil Foden, Conor Gallagher. You've had, and now you've obviously brought in Wharton and Kobe Mainu, who are the new guys into the fold. You've had all of these midfielders, bar the last two, in the last 5-6 years, and you're now saying that you haven't found a combination that works for that midfield. Like, at some point, bro, like I this is the bit that baffles me. At some point, surely someone looks at that and says, maybe he doesn't know what he's doing. Somebody must look at that.
It has taken Jesse Marsh, who nobody really rates like that, but we know what he's about as a manager. He's a press merchant. He's a vibes merchant. He's a anti-adjusting in games tactic merchant. But guess what? He's started the first 3 games as Canada men's national team manager. His first 3 games, Netherlands away, France away, and hosting Argentina. They already have a cohesive press. They already have their goalkeeper situation figured out. I know they don't have the talent pool that England do, but why are inferior nations and managers somehow finding the ways? And how are they figuring out this stuff so quickly? And you're right, with Southgate, he's been there 7-8 years, and he's still, it's like, and also about the Calvin Phillips thing, why did you just bring him then?
But exactly what I said, Steve, is if, and by the way, listen, I didn't want Calvin Phillips to go, but I also didn't think he was going to come out and say, oh, we don't have a Calvin Phillips replacement.
Why didn't he bring him
more for me? Why didn't you just bring him then? Like, if that's what you needed, why didn't you just bring him then?
That's like,
it doesn't make sense,
bro. That's like when you're going out on dates and you're trying to find a new girl, and it's like, I want to go and get her back, and it's like, well, you could if you want to. Nah, I don't want to. I want her though. I want her.
Yeah.
It's like, but there's only you can if you want to. It's not a good idea to. Calvin Phillips is not that player anymore.
Of course.
Like, it's if so why are you complaining about it? It's he don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, and like I said, man, it like yesterday's game, and to be honest, it's funny because I was half waiting for a game like this. I thought maybe it wouldn't come up, in this kind of tournament. Big up, Sam, man. Hope you're blessed, my bro. Like, I thought maybe it wouldn't come up so early in the tournament because I said already, and I said it in my match previews as well, guys. I said, ultimately, as Jerry said, rightly so, tournament football, you got 3 guaranteed games. That's all you've got in the Euros. 3 guaranteed games. You just want 3 points. So guess what? The style of play and all of that, let all the other losers like ourselves on YouTube, let us crash it on the tactics and we can do that. But guess what? The reality is you get 3 points at the end of it. So do we really care? Not really, because you just want to get the 3 points and you want to move on. The problem he's now going to have is, or he's now got, after that game, is that you didn't get 3 points playing the shit way that you've been playing.
Almost every sorry to cut you off, but every other team in the tournament with inferior talent and like managers, or whatever, they have it figured out.
Exactly.
That's the problem. And with England, bro, yeah, you got to do both. You do have to do both. There's no excuse because there are managers that if the FA had ambition for you guys, they could find a manager to sort you out in 2-3 games.
Easily, man. Easily. It's just silly, man. Like I took this picture. Actually, I was literally watching the game because I was in such shock. Like, usually I can't lie. I don't look too deep into like analyzing England games too much.
Analytics.
Players, certain players, just to see. Oh yeah, he done this, he done that. Like, I'll crash it on Kane every game because he does the same shit. But that's kind of easy to do because he does the same stuff, right? But I saw this. At half time, they were talking about it. England before scoring, so it's in the white. Apologies, guys, if you can't see it, just make the screen bigger. England in the white. This is before they scored a goal. This is their average positions. Look at England's average position after they scored a goal. Immediate change. Bearing in mind, it says before scoring and after scoring, not before conceding and after conceding. It's before scoring. So, when we score a goal, guys, Steve and Harris, when you score a goal, your team, if you score the first goal in the game, I'm going to say it means your team is winning, right? In my eyes. Okay, cool. As long as I understand the rules of
even own goals, you force an own goal, that counts as a goal. So you would be winning.
Sorry, that was my Google. But yeah, no, sorry, go on, continue.
No, yeah, you're right. Well, you know what it is? Gareth Southgate gets scared by the phrase of you're at your most vulnerable after you concede or score a goal. I think that guy has that written down somewhere, and it's like his fear. It's his greatest fear, a goal being scored. Because I really think he believes in that kind of principle of like you're at your most vulnerable when you score or the other team scores. Because then, you know, especially at a tournament atmosphere with big stadiums and the crowd's going crazy, the emotions, you can either let that be the reason why you go and get a second because the team you just scored on is trying to recover mentally because they just got sucker punched, or it's where you are way too emotional, you're still like celebrating and shit, and then the other team's like, all right, we're responding with a goal, and then you concede. I think that's one of the biggest. That's how he coaches. For me, that's what it screams. That he is so fearful of what happens after a goal. That's how it comes across. That he coaches very, very scared and by that principle. It's
just like listen, look, I'll keep it a puck. Like in my head, sorry, before this stream even started, like I had at least when I had written down like certain notes and stuff, like certain points and things to like talk about and whatnot. I was like, you know what? When I looked at all the notes and stuff, I was like, you know, this stream actually could end by the time the next time England play again, technically speaking, because of how much we could actually go into it, yeah. But even when I'm just sitting here and I'm listening to Steve, listening to Harris, listening to what Jerry said earlier on, like I'm still kind of dumbfounded just by the game in itself because, I don't even know where to even pick at it, but cool. We're talking about the substitutions. Big up CDG.
Actually, sorry to cut you off. You know what the biggest thing is? I don't think he knows the basics of play a right back at right back. Why is Trippier at left back? Why is Foden left wing? Why does Bellingham have the role that Bellingham has? Why does Kane have the free roam license to go wherever he wants, which is how the goal happened? Why is he in midfield, bro? Trying to play
don't worry, we're gonna get on to
stuff like that. For me, another thing that it's like he's not doing the basics of like Slovenia is playing their right back as a right back in a 4-4-2. Sporar and Šeško are strikers. Sporar is the guy that holds up the ball, and Šeško's the second striker that runs behind. Because guess what? That's their skill set. They're gonna put a striker at a striker in a 4-4-2 and a second striker at a second striker position. And they're going to give him instructions and role to fulfill that. The midfield, same thing. They play center midfield. Slovakia, same thing. Duda, Lobotka, and the other, I forget his name. That midfield three, they're not a great team, Slovakia. They're very well coached because the coach that, what's his name? Calzona does the basics. There's a midfield three, and that midfield three does exactly what they're supposed to do, and it works. With England, it's like he's trying to force things that just aren't there. Like Trippier at left back, bro. So that makes your left-hand side overlap non-existent. Foden left wing, that's not his best position at all. Play a left winger there. How about?
You've got one literally chilling on the bench like for the last 2 games. Why not just play Gordon? I've been dying to see, like, it just makes sense. Just play Gordon. Yeah. The worst, like, there isn't even a worst that can even happen here. Like, the reality is you're just going to play as shit as you always played. So guess what? Just revert back to whatever you want to do. If that doesn't work, I've got no problem with that because at least then I can't turn around and say, oh, but you tried it. You haven't tried this guy. You tried him. Okay, Gordon stunk up the place. No worries. He doesn't play next game. You tried Eze. He stunk up the place. Oh, no worries. He doesn't play next game. Whoever it is, you haven't even tried it, bro. And the reality is, I would love to see
Wharton would give you some control in that midfield, but he's not a big name.
I'm missing.
But he's not a big name. That's the problem, I think, here also. It's the case of, and I didn't watch what's it called? I didn't watch football back when y'all had the Scholes Gerard Lampard thing when Carrick.
Oh, the games were as shit as this. Don't be fooled. They were as shit as this. Yeah, they were actually as shit as this.
This is just a new dilemma.
Yeah,
So the trio that has to play for England, according to the media and a lot of fans, is Bellingham, Foden in the 10, and Rice. Don't work.
For me, I'm like, and again, and Harris, I'd love to know obviously what you think in that regards, right? Like, when we're looking at it, he took off I'll start off with the subs, right? He took off Trent, and as Jerry said earlier on, I'm easy with
Play
you
him
taking
as a
off
right
Trent.
back. Play
No,
him
no,
as a
no, but even still, cool. You played him in midfield, whatever. For some reason, in your eyes, it wasn't working to what you wanted him to do, so you decided to take him off. Obviously, England didn't have any control with or without Trent anyway. But fair enough, you've taken him off the pitch.
Yeah.
I've got no problem with that. My issue came as soon as you took him off. You then, as he said, you brought on Watkins, and then you brought on Jared. And you brought on
his
Jared
first sub
Bowen.
was Gallagher.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying is that
Yeah.
you took off Trent to bring on Gallagher, no problem. Your next set of subs is then to bring on Ollie Watkins and Jared Bowen, but now you've got no Trent because you've taken him off already in your first substitution for fucking Conor Gallagher. So I was like, so what was the point in taking off Trent if you were always going to take off, Kane and I can't remember the other guy who came off for Harry Kane, but like, why not just keep Trent on and then you can still bring on your Ollie Watkins and your Jared Bowen. Now, Trent has got runners. Guess what? The other clever thing would have been to have done is, even if you have to take off Phil Foden, he can F off, not a problem. Bring on Gordon. Guess what? Now I've got Gordon, Ollie Watkins, Jared Bowen, 3 players who always want to run in behind, who always make those out to in runs.
And who will press?
Out runs.
Press. What's
Exactly.
the weakness of that Danish back three in particular? It's Vestergaard dilly-dallying on the ball. Plenty of Leicester games this season. They've had some not great results, or they drew games where they shouldn't have drawn or lost, is because Vestergaard will get caught on the ball because he's slow. But guess what? If you don't force the issue, there's no issue with Vestergaard taking his time on the ball, or Christensen going a little bit too further for, like, that's the thing. Like, when there are things, when England play against teams and the team has a vulnerability, you never actively go out of your way to exploit it. If you watch the Slovakia-Belgium game, one of the things that Slovakia did really, really well in that first half was Slovakia were pressing with 4, and all Belgium could do was pass between left back, center back, right back to the goalkeeper Castillos. Then the same thing. They refuse to go long. Even though they have Lukaku. They refuse to go long. So then it was just encouraging Slovakia, press more. That's what they started winning the balls in dangerous areas, because that's one of the weaknesses with Belgium. They refuse to go long. And De Bruyne as well was a huge issue in that game. He's standing on the halfway line doing this. It's like, how about you drop back, bro? How about you drop back because you're good at long balls? Find the wing. So Slovakia, their coach and their players were able to exploit a weakness of Belgium's through a very simple press of 4, rotate 5 out. Hanjko on the left was responsible, if that long ball was ever played, where he would just, bam, I'm right on your case, Doku. Bam, I'm right on your case, Trossard, the right back. It's simple things, bro. It's so simple. And that's the thing that Southgate, it's like, I'm not even seeing simple plans of trying to exploit whoever you're playing. Because every team in the world, in any sport, has strengths and weaknesses that are there to be exploited, or that they will exploit you with their strengths. I don't see you guys exploiting the weaknesses of whatever team you're playing often enough at all. I feel like you guys play the same way against everyone.
It's funny, yeah, because you spoken there about about 4 different teams, yeah, in the last like 10 minutes. You know what's crazy about that? In all 4 teams, even Belgium to a certain degree, from what I've seen of them in this tournament, all 4 teams, good or bad, poor performance or not, they all have a style of play. Yes. Whether it's been good, whether it's been bad, whether they've lost games. Jerry will tell you about Poland's game. Cool, they didn't win, not a problem. But he could at least tell me the style of play that they have. And this is the point that I was trying to make before we obviously move on and talk about Mr. Number 9. This is my point. And what Jerry said before he left was, it's all well and good, the style and play, this, that, and the third. Of course, listen, we all want to play like prime Barcelona if we possibly could. That is the dream, but obviously it's not going to happen like that, right? Cool. So when you're coming to tournament football, as I said, you just want the 3 points. The problem kicks in when you have no style of play and you're not getting the 3 points, because now we have nothing to fall back on. Now there isn't even it doesn't matter, G, because we've got the 3 points, so it doesn't really matter. We can just get better in the next. Bro, you didn't even get the 3 points this time, and you were super lucky to get the 3 points in the first game. Serbia, in my opinion, should have drawn that game. And in the Iceland game,
Bosnia.
Like this. But this is what I'm saying. It's like we can do the whole. It's just tournament football for as long as we possibly. Well, as long as England are, of course, in this tournament. But if you don't get those 3 points, obviously in the group stages, and you then don't make it through potentially in the knockout rounds. Bro, you see all of that? Oh, it's just, I don't care about the no style, because as long as I get the substance. Once that goes, I promise you, as Jerry said, they will kill you in the media for anything now. It doesn't matter if you play Kane, don't play Kane. It makes no difference, because you're not giving us anything, nothing to actually work with, to at least say, oh, England are that type of team where it's not going to be pretty, but they're going to get the job done. Guess what? You didn't get the job done. And as I said, you were super lucky to get the job done against Serbia, because I felt that it should have been a draw, but cool. You got the 3 points. So we move and we can say, okay, they got the job done. I can commend you at least for that. But you couldn't do the same thing again. And it's this thing that, and I know I will talk about Liverpool for a sec. It's that same thing that I kept mentioning with Liverpool from start to finish, is you keep getting excited about this one thing because you're seeing the team, they're winning. But you're not understanding that it's not a sustainable thing. It's not something that can be sustained for an entire season, and you're going to be able to just continue doing it no matter what happens. Eventually, it's going to fuck up. And guess what? I'm not saying it's fucked up, by the way, for England, because they are still top of the group. So there isn't really, you know what I mean? I don't want to go too overboard, but when we're just looking specifically at this game, that's where, you know, the problem obviously lies therein for me. Jerry, you're signed in twice. I don't know why. I don't know if you want me to log you out of this one. I'll say.
But like for real, it's crazy. I mean,
there you
there's a bunch of things.
No, gee, that was me. Still, he just kicked Jerry out.
Oh, I was thinking, why are you Jerry 6'4"? Sorry, yeah, I was baff. Sorry. Go back in. I said Jerry 6'4". I was so bad, bro. I just saw Jerry 6'4". I was thinking maybe that's Jerry's alias and that, like, you know what I mean? Maybe that's what he calls himself around town and that, like, I don't know.
TV's bitter, that's all, man. He got exposed and now, do you know what I mean? He's shaking, quivering. That's what he's drinking. Drink up.
Man, just kicked you out for no reason in that, bro. That's crazy.
Look, bro, man, I saw Jerry 6'4". Why am I gonna think it's anybody different?
Yeah.
Who else would it be?
Thiago, obviously.
Yeah, well, and this is it, man. But let's move on anyway, because I wanted to speak obviously on. I want to get everyone's thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, just taking a look, of course. And you've said it already in the chat a couple of times, and I know a few people have mentioned it to me as well, just in regards to the man in the picture, and that's obviously Harry Kane. Harris, we'll go to you first, man. Bro, chat to me about him, just him in general, bro, because he scored a goal yesterday. He scored a goal. Alan Shearer looked like he was about to do some mad stuff in front of the camera. Like it sounded crazy. You know, when I was watching the game. But yeah, man, chat to me about Kane, man, and just everything with him.
Yeah, I think him playing up front, with him just kind of floating, not dropping deep, I feel like it does frustrate him. Like Southgate, I think Southgate does tell him, yeah, stay up front. But you can see there's times here where he is actually dropping deep, trying to get on the ball. And it's like, it's kind of like, why are you there? Like, do we need you really to drop deep when there's not really runners? The only one that's going to run it behind is Saka. And then you've got Bellingham, you've got Foden, who love to also come deep at times to receive the ball, get a few touches. And it's like, we just don't need you in that position. And there's just a big imbalance in this team when it comes to the forwards. So, like, Saka at times will come short. He may spin in behind. Foden just wants to come to the ball all the time, and it does frustrate me. I don't think we really need him like that. I feel like there's other players that I think England should use and could use. For example, Eze, Gordon, to make it really balanced. You can put Eze in the 10 and Gordon out wide. You can put Bellingham in the 10 with Eze or Gordon out wide. And then with Kane, it's like Kane's going to score goals this tournament, yeah, but his performances, I feel like they will be questionable. He'll get like 2 penalties next game. Just watch. And then the critics
he'll take his tally up to 3, and then everyone will be like, "Oh my god!" Like Kane.
Yeah,
I'd argue that his performances don't indicate he's going to score again this tournament outside of a penalty.
True.
And it's also like when we talk about Kane dropping back, well, okay, Kane dropping back, that means he's not in the box when you guys are trying to attack. If he's going to be the guy to draw you penalty, I know you have other players that can draw penalties, but it's like if Kane is dropping back and not really like, bro, I want to look at a heat map of like where he's been playing and like how often has he actually been in the box? How often have you guys in general been in the box to get these penalties? And it's like his performances to me don't indicate that like, oh, I should bet on Kane right now because his odds are really good for the golden boot. No, I'm looking at like I thought that Kramaric was going to get the golden boot. I had Croatia going far. That's probably not going to happen. But you could see kind of why I thought Kramaric could be someone that could go on a bit of a streak. You could see why, because we all know how Croatia play. We all know how Croatia play with that midfield 3 and the 3 forwards, which is lacking in some sense. But you know what I'm saying? It's like the performances of Kane for me don't look like he's going to score again. And like the lack of shots, the lack of like, he looks gassed, bro. He looks gassed. I don't know. That's just me about Kane.
No, he does. He actually does. Look at this guy. He ran away from the challenge. I was about to ask him a question. I'll just before we go to you. In fact, no, Enzo, I'll go to you actually because I know you are a little bit busy. You did speak about it, obviously in the chat. Like, chat to me about Kane, man. Like, what do you do with this kind of player, knowing that you've also got 2 strikers sitting on the bench, by the way?
Nah, it's mad. Do you know what it is, bro? Partly his fault, partly the setup. I think the front 4, you would say, the Bellingham, Foden, Saka, and Kane, that combination isn't working. They've got Bellingham that wants to get on the ball all the time and be free-spirited. You got Foden, you know, he thinks he's playing for Man City and he wants to get on the ball as well and get into those little pockets. You've got Saka that's just standing out there, and without supply, you can see that he ain't that good. Without supply, he don't do you anything in the game where you're like, oh my days, he'll come short, pick it up, drop 2 shoulders. He don't do none of that. He needs that supply. And then Kane doing the exact same thing Foden, Bellingham are doing, bro. It's not working. We have to change that. I think the defense is fine. I think Rice and Trent are fine in there. It's just that front 4, and with Kane. Yeah, but if it's not going to work, just drop the guy, bro. It doesn't make any difference. We're here to win a tournament, bro. We're not here for favoritism.
Yeah.
Like, you're not playing well. Get out the team, bro. Like, we can put someone else in there and let them play, and we'll get a better output because you're going to put a Watkins up there. He's going to run in behind. He'll hold the ball up. He'll link it. His movement is good. And given the opportunity, he can finish as well, man. And then you got Ivan Toney as well. If we need to go long, we can go long into him. If we need to go short, he's good at hold. And he'll bring the wingers into the game. Kane isn't doing that at the moment. He's not bringing in Foden and he's not bringing in Saka into the game at all. So it's just nullifying them to do what they need to do. And then they're getting bored, as you guys said on the stream so far. And then they just all started to drop deep. Like yesterday, bro, I see Trent and Rice are like, yo, move out my space. They were telling them to move forward because you guys are standing on our toes, literally.
So congested.
Yeah, just move, bro. Why are you coming short here? We can handle this. Stay where you need to stay. And then when we get the ball off the defenders, we'll then pop it about and then we'll find you. Nah, bro, these men were all dropping deep, bro. And like you showed on your graph, as soon as we score that goal, bro, literally everyone's standing on everyone's toes now. Literally, bro. But yeah, man, Kane needs to, like, listen, he's not to say he's not a good striker. He's one of the best out there, bro. And he's one of the most clinical finishers you'll find out there. And you can see from his goal. But at the same time, bro, it's about what's working and what's not working. And like you said earlier as well, bro, and Jerry as well, man, you took off Trent and then put on players that actually wanted to run in behind, which made no sense, bro. You're like, just keep the guy on the pitch.
Yeah,
I don't
if he was going to
understand this
always
whole
do that
Kane-
substitution, that was my issue.
And this is what happened in the previous game as well. Not one of the bad players he got sacrificed when apart from Bellingham's goal, he was all right. The other guys weren't doing nothing in the whole game. The forward didn't do nothing in the whole game. And then you see from this game again, take stats away, bro. Trent was playing he created the most chances for the man them.
Yeah,
sitting on the ball and he was trying to dictate the game. But the front four, bro, none of them man got over a 4 for me, bro. Them man, they were dead food, bro.
Saka was trying. He always does, for sure. Like
trying and running into shoulders and shins, bro. They ain't trying, innit?
Yeah.
I don't hear trying. You can't be telling me you're one of the best wingers out there compared to Mo Salah and that, and then you're just running into shins and fucking shoulders every 2 seconds.
Nah, shins and shoulders, you know.
Bro, you didn't get none of them 4 got over it, bro. Kane's goal, apart from his goal, a couple of deflections and that from well done to Carl Walker, man, and then he ended up on the end of it. But yeah, man,
97s.
But this is what I was saying, like, about the whole.
Who rated these, bro?
Bro, but you've spoken about it. We've spoken about these ratings, guys. Please, if you don't watch the games, by the way, don't look at I only ever go on these things just to see who played. I'm not looking at the ratings. I don't care about all of that, because now, especially after looking at these things properly for like the last 2 years, I've now deep that like, oh, they're not rating it necessarily based on like performance. I feel like it's done by metrics. So Harry Kane scored a goal. Because he scored a goal, for him, he would technically probably still have to be placed on a 7 at minimum. Like at minimum, he'd have to be on a 7, unless it was like, you know, England lost 6-1, and even then, I still think I've seen stuff like that before, where teams lost like 6-1, but the person who scored the 1 on the other team gets a 7. I'm like, brother, we're all getting 1s. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if you scored or not. So that's what I'm saying with people. Don't even pay no mind, no attention, and stuff like that when it comes to, you know, the ratings and stuff like that. Like, guys, if you didn't watch the game, I'd even prefer if you actually just watch the 2-minute highlights they do on YouTube. I would actually just prefer if you just watch that, because at least you'd get a better gist of the game than these statistics will show you. But the only reason I got this up is because I wanted to, obviously, looking at like Denmark's team and stuff, and obviously we're here. I can crash it on England for days, trust me. I've got heat for England for as long as I need it, right? But Denmark, in my opinion, I felt like they were actually good, though, in the way that they were set up in the game. Like, they had a plan. And again, to what Steve was saying before about all of those teams, all of these different teams, whether it's Slovakia, whether it's Serbia, whether it's Canada, whether it's France, whoever, doesn't have to. And I'm not even trying to even name the Frances and the Spains, because I know what they're about. I know what they're on. I saw Spain yesterday. I saw them in the first game. Spain are on stuff. We know that. We know what they're about. Yeah. Those are the best of the teams, right? I'm just talking, look at a team who, when they understand what the plan is, that's how you then execute it. Ericsson, when he came out after the game, disappointed they didn't win the game. He was like, yeah, you know, we knew what England were going to do. We knew what England were going to do. We kind of knew how they were going to set up. We're more disappointed that we didn't get the victory. What does that tell you? When you're now got up at the end of a game, forget who you are, forget that you're England, forget that you're Denmark. You've just come from a game. Just imagine you're just a random
11
team.
men versus 11 men.
11 men, and the opposition has now come up against you, has come out at the end of a game and said, yeah, man, we deserved it. These times it was 1-1. And you're sitting there saying that you sit there and think that you're the better team. And he's come out saying, "No, we actually thought that we should have won the game." Crazy, because I also thought Denmark should have won the game. So now, what are we doing here? And it owes so much, and I don't want to take away from Denmark's performance. That's why I didn't want to. I can crash it on England, but I also don't want to take away from Denmark's performance,
because there's two teams in the game.
Yeah, there are 2 teams in the game, and I felt like it would have been a bit unfair if I didn't even say a word, you know, to how good they were. But they were compact when they needed to be. Yeah, they conceded that goal. That was just a silly mistake, because if they don't concede that, they look like they probably could have scored that first goal. To be honest with you, like they look like it could have swung either way, the pendulum at that time. But obviously England got it first. It was a good goal. I rate that, no problem. Carl Walker, he was at it, no problem. They get that first goal. Kane, striker instincts, that's what he's about. Hence why we keep telling him, stay in the bloody box. Because we know that if you stay in the box, you're the best finisher around. So you will score goals, right? But after that goal, Denmark, to me, never panicked. They never looked like they were just panicking. It never looked like, oh, crap, we're 1-0 down to England. Let's drop off a little bit. Let's drop off.
Back and counter.
Yeah, they never, they were just like, it almost, and you know, it come like, and Harris and Steve actually probably, Harris, I know you definitely heard this because I know you kickball now. You know, when you concede that goal, and then the guy will tell you, yo, it's 0-0, lads, don't worry about it, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, and I think I was making a joke about it the other day saying, nah, bro, it's 1-0, we're losing.
It's 1-0, bro.
Yeah, someone said that to me the other day. 2-0.
It's 2-0, bro.
He said it's 0-0. I said, bro, we're 1-0 down.
We're 1-0 down. But there's always that one guy in the team who just, obviously he's trying to, I get it, he's trying to G up the lads and he's trying to.
I'd love to know where he started from so I can say, yo,
bro,
listen.
the Sunday League archives. Listen, the heritage, that's where it come from. But that's what it felt like, though. Denmark actually did, though. They literally sat there and said, "Oh, no, lads, don't worry about it. Get back and we score a goal. We're 1-0 up." Do you know what I mean? Like it almost felt like it was that type of game, and I think that's where where I felt like Denmark were, necessarily the better team. Big up Angel, because I forgot about this. He said, listen to Thomas Frank at halftime. You knew exactly what Denmark... Bro, I could tell Thomas Frank, he wanted to speak and say something else. Because I know if he didn't have all these English youths next to him, he was about to say something and go into he was going to start explaining a bit more and maybe get a bit more excited that, England are not as good as you people make out, and we're slyly playing pretty well, so we could probably win this game. But obviously, we're on BBC, and Gary Lineker's got to speak. And say that again.
I don't think I can sit on the table with Rio. Who else was there?
Shearer.
Yeah, I can't sit on the table with them because the amount of was they talk sometimes. It's what are you talking about? So that with. You see with the pundits, they speak as if England have won every tournament. They've won one World Cup, and then they haven't even won a Euros before. So it's like, where's this arrogance come from?
Nah, but this is the problem, and this is my thing, and this is why I say that's why it was so good. Thomas Frank sitting there and. Even he spoke about, the whole Harry Kane situation when they were, asking him about what do you think they should do? It almost felt like he wanted to say, brother, just bench him. Like, why are we even?
Brother, just hire me. Just hire me.
You know what? Just hire me, kind of thing. But it almost felt like he was not alluding to it. I don't want to put words in his mouth because he didn't actually say it. But it almost felt like he was trying to say, if he's not playing well, you do need to bench him. Or if you're not going to bench him, which is fine, you're going to need to play a lot differently than what you're playing to get the best out of him.
Role.
Exactly.
Move some pieces around. Football is like it's like a
chess.
Like chess. You have different pawns. They all do different things, and your opponent's got the same. So move them around accordingly. Strategy, bro. It's that kind of thing. But on a real, bro, Thomas Frank would be a really good hire for England. I think that'd be
would be good.
One. I think that'd be a really interesting one because he plays 3-5-2, 3-4-3 sometimes. For me, that's kind of what suits your team because he would play a Tomori, he would play Gehi, he would center backs wise in a back three. You don't have to have world beaters. You just have to have organization, right? So for me, a 3-5-2 might actually be an interesting idea, or a 3-4-3 because you have the wingers in Saka. Gordon.
Yeah, if you look at Morocco in the World Cup, they had good organization, and which is why they reached. Was it the semis? I think it was the semis.
Yeah, semis.
Yeah. So that taught me at the time when I was still analyzing football and stuff. You don't need stars in your team. You need just a good structure, people that understand their roles. It's just a shame that they had to come up with such a good team against France. but throughout the whole World Cup, they didn't like concede many goals because of organization. You see England, they try to shoehorn everyone into the team, and it's like there's no organization, there's no identity about the team. I've seen my team who I support, the Netherlands. There was a point last year where we just kept getting battered up by everyone, like Croatia, Italy, in the Nations League. And I was looking at it and I was thinking, how can you have Van Dijk, Ake, Van der Ven, De Ligt, Timber,
five very good center backs. 5.
You can't have all of those defenders and not find an identity to make them all work together, because I'm just seeing all of them just get touched up by next man striker, this wingers mashing up our defenders, and it's like, where's the identity? So now I'm seeing a better identity with the Netherlands.
And I don't even rate Koeman like that. I don't know how you feel about him, but even he has found a way somehow to have an identity, whether it works or not.
He's the Dutch Southgate. He can't move on from.
That's such a bad thing to be like.
He can't move on from certain players. Like today, I heard that apparently he was starting Wijnaldum.
Why?
But apparently he's playing in the 10, which I'm okay with, because when Wijnaldum gets into the box, he's not bad in the box. But then again, we have our talent that could be used. So apparently the team today will be Verbruggen, Ake, Van Dijk, De Vrij, Dumfries. I think it's Reinders and Schuiten. Then Depay, Gakpo, Frimpong, and Wijnaldum, which I'm okay with. But then again, you've got talent on the bench. Mutson, Xavi. Well, Xavi doesn't really play well for us, but there is a role for him in the 10. So it's like...
I like him more on the left too, Xavi Simons. That's where he did his damage at Leipzig this season on the left. 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, albeit they played... Rosa plays more of a 4-2-2 kind of thing. It's a different look, but like you can
but like in Poland, I did see good patterns of play. We just need to be more way more clinical, because we're coming up against France today. If we don't take the chances, then we're gonna get pumped. If we don't take our chances,
listen. I think like. When again, and as I said it before. I said it's when Steve was speaking there, about the other teams. The reality is, we're all saying the same thing, which is, it doesn't matter how good or bad your actual team is. That's fine, because the reality is, it's a game of football. Anybody can win, right? But when we can at least see patterns of play, it at least gives you some level, even for the smaller nations or the less quality nations, even they have got something to at least look at and say, you know what, at least my team plays like this and does that and blah 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 blah. Then Norris did, and then not a problem. So with England, this is why people are constantly going to beef Southgate, and why Southgate will always be under pressure. Now, as I said before, England are, of course, in top position. So it's not like we're sitting here saying, "Oh my goodness, sack this man." Well, I mean, they're saying sack this manager, but we're not saying like it's all doom and gloom at this current moment in time, right? And ultimately, if you get the 3 points in the next game, people will forget about it. You'll end the thing on 7 points, top of the group. It's all la-di-da. We go into the next round, probably against an easier team, and then you take it from there. My problem is that how sustainable is this going to be? That's my only issue. And from when he's talking about trying to find combinations within the midfield, that like I tried to give Southgate some kind of grace for this tournament. But when you're now saying stuff like this for now, it's all done and dusted, man. It's all done and dusted. But we'll get into that, of course, in a moment. I just want to do the player ratings, and then of course we can, we can head out. We'll start off quickly. And people in the chat, please, everyone, and big up Never a Foul, of course, always. Whoever's in the chat, just give me your ratings as well. We'll start off with Pickford. What are you guys saying for Pickford?
Didn't he make like 2 really good saves? I want to say one of them was on. Did Hoyland miss one like right in front of goal? I want to. It was something.
He definitely
Yeah.
saved one from Hoyland. He saved one from Hoiberg, I remember, which is a
Højbjerg,
long
yeah.
ranger.
The goalie couldn't do nothing about the Hillman one. That guy is elite when it comes
Yeah,
to
no,
outside the box.
yeah.
That guy is a sniper. Absolute sniper from outside the box. Couldn't do anything about the goal. I give like a 7.
Yeah,
7.
I'd agree.
Distribution a bit shaky, but like overall, he's not a problem.
But I also think that's more tactical as well, though. I do think that is tactical.
He's one of your man of the match contenders.
And that's kind of saying something. I always say, if your goalie's the man of the match, yeah, you do. Something ain't right.
7 for him, yeah.
We'll go with Carl Walker. Walks.
Same
Kept
rating. I
slipping
think.
early on in the game, I remember.
He had to change his boots, innit?
He's. I think he started the tournament off well. To be fair,
Yeah, yes.
I didn't have him in my 11, but I think he was sound. So I'll give him a 6.5.
What are you guys saying?
I think a 7.
To be fair, he did bring back the ball for the goal, so I'll give him a 7 as well. Actually,
Yeah. No, only that man. With him in the team, man. It nullifies some of the faster players because he drops back and covers quite quickly for them. So, but yeah, 7.
For me, I think he's not one of your bigger problems. Would I play Trent at right back instead? Yeah, but I would I would do a different formation if I was England. Like I said, 3-5-2 or 3-4-3 sort of thing would be what I do. But judging up like yesterday, like a 6. But like I noticed as the game wore on, though, he was getting tired, bro. He was getting real tired, and like he is kind of slowly declining a little bit. So I think the Trent at right back thing I think should be something that he explores, or maybe a Trippier too. So, but yeah, it wasn't one of your problem players for sure. So I go like a 6, something like that. Yeah.
I'll do a 6.5 then because we got 6,
go for it.
6.5, 7. I
Works.
try to keep it as even. Trippier, go to left back.
5.
5.
Yeah.
That was
5.
quick. I didn't even think that. Yeah, 5. That's average, which he was, to be fair. He was average.
They offered nothing attacking wise on the left because he's a right footer. It's like, again, I get it why he's there, but this is the other thing that, like, when I looked at your squad, it's like, why are you giving a call up to a Livramento, Leif Davis, Tyreek Mitchell?
Tyreek Mitchell was the one I said he should have picked.
Yeah. Again, why aren't you calling up players to play left back? Bring 2 left back, or maybe 3, and then bring 2 left wingers. From what I can remember, there's one left winger a true left winger on the England squad right now. As they can play left wing, but I like him more as an attacking midfielder sort of thing. And that's Anthony Gordon. He's the out and out left winger, and that's it.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. But I've said
and
already.
Luke Shaw is injured still, and he's the only true left back that you guys have. It's stuff like that from Southgate as well. It's like, why are you doing this?
I'm just picking injured players on that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like it's just nonsense.
And it's so funny because then, I saw in the news, was it yesterday, maybe before the game, or I saw at some point like recently, in regards to what's his name, Luke Shaw, that he wouldn't be fit for the game anyway. So I was like, oh, so he ain't even going to be fit. Now, bro, we're going into game 3, and the guy that you picked to has been injured since February and hasn't kicked a ball since Feb, is now still not going to be available. And it doesn't look like he's going to be available for game 3. So basically, you just wasted a
pick.
Yeah. Brother, you should have just bought Tyreek Mitchell. I feel like he's calm as a left back. Like,
Leif
to
Davis.
do what you need. Yeah, like just someone who's left-footed and who's good. Like, I'm sure you could have found one.
A left back.
This is the stupidity, man. Mark Gay.
I think best player.
Consistency is
He
key.
gets an 8.
That's why.
He gets
an 8.
Yeah, go an 8.
Because he's dealt with everything that's come his way. He did have that little moment where there was a ricochet and it bounced off of the the attacker, but he made up for it.
Exactly.
People saying 8.5 isn't that right? You thought he was that good, guys. Say no more. Say no more. I'm not gonna disagree with you guys. If you feel like he's 8. John Stones. I still feel like this brother looks
There's
like
a
he's running
conversation
quicksand,
about
you know?
Stones that we could have in terms of his mobility. These injuries, I think, are I was watching Rance. He did a match reaction, and he was talking about like Stones. It's like the mobility. It looks like he kind of lost a yard of pace. Those injuries add up eventually, bro. I feel like he was good, but like if you're playing against a more dynamic attack, that little loss of pace by a yard or two that could cost you. And it's like, I don't know. He can't really play like the Stones that we know, because obviously I think he's the best English center back that you guys have, and he. Didn't he pick up an injury in the Iceland game or the Bosnia one as well?
Yeah.
So he's probably playing. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Alexander Delos said it right there. He don't look comfortable. And clearly, and besides that mistake from Gahey, they weren't really targeting him like that. The Denmark attack kind of they were really attacking down Stone's side. So. Yeah, probably like a 5, something like that.
I would agree. 5.
Dude,
I'm worried. That's a big worry. That's a big worry for me. Do you guys feel like he's like less mobile or something, or that he's just not quite there yet?
I keep telling you, he's having that dream where you're running, but you ain't going nowhere. Like he needs to wake up or something, because otherwise. And bro, I've had that dream. Trust me, it's not a good omen. I'll tell you that for free. Yeah. It's actually not a good omen. So you might want to see a psychiatrist about that one.
Bro, G, have you had that dream? Is that what you're saying? Have you had that dream?
Bro, we'll talk off air. Anyway, Declan Rice. We'll move on to Deckers. Mr.
He was awful,
we had a debate about him yesterday, obviously on Enz's stream, talking about how good is he really. Enz's boy, you know. Arsenal's £105 million signing. How was he yesterday, people? People in the chat, let me know, like, because I can't lie, I was defending him yesterday, and I knew these things would come back to haunt me, just not so quickly, because you just ended up just being stinky. Donny's passing the ball off for throw-ins. You're just misplacing passes.
He's responsible for a football field length of running and tackling. Like so you know how Ten Hag was talking about Southgate like a few days ago about like, oh, the ideas, and he was talking shit about Southgate. And it's like, well, you're projecting, my guy, because I saw this with Casemiro this season at Man United, where it's like you're playing a lone pivot, and it's just like Rice cannot cover 40 yards of ground and like has to be responsible for tackling and intercept. Like he was set up to fail, and he played like shit because of that. I don't think Rice is an amazing player. He's good, he's solid, definitely a great tackler on the ball. He's competent, but like when you put him in the role where he has to do the work of the whole midfield, like the industrial physical side of the game, it's like, you're gonna fail. That's why Højbjerg was freaking man of the match, and Hjulmand and these guys, because it was like it was easy. It was easy for them to just roll right through. So Rice like a 3, bro.
After all of that, I thought he was actually going to give him a higher score.
Well, I have to give him a poor rating, but the poor rating is because that was his performance. The reason for the poor performance was because obviously the setup from Southgate was terrible.
No. Don't worry, Steve. You ain't got to back yourself. You know what I mean? I'm just messing. What are you, man, saying? Harris ends.
Same.
I don't even want to ask Ends because Ends will just give him a 1 anyway. Go on, Harris.
Yeah, he gets a 3. Like when he passed the ball off the pitch for a corner, I was like, this guy, he's so clunks on the ball. Do you think he's quite clunky on the ball?
I don't think that's a normal thing though. Like I don't look at him and think he looks clunky or awkward or whatever.
Rice is
because
impressed.
And
He's not
he
press
he
resistant as
slows
well.
down everything. Like he slows down the
he's
build
not
up.
press
If
resistant.
you press
Yeah,
Rice
he's-
and you box him out, I promise you, brother, he panics all the time on the ball.
Yes.
Okay, okay. So just
He
on that,
needs a Wharton next to him or a Manu.
no. Okay, that's fine. I'm just trying to think. Name a player who you think is press resistant.
Lavia.
What, in the Prem?
Yeah,
Or
just Premier League. We'll just say Premier League.
Bruno Guimaraes at top.
Oh, centre midfielder. Yeah, Bruno is definitely press resistant.
I think
Enzo
Lavia is
For
press
Chelsea,
resistant as
he's
well.
press resistant.
Enzo?
Thiago.
What Thiago? Oh, he's gone now.
Yeah.
McAllister to a point. I think,
Yes.
but if you start cracking, I think he gets away with a lot. Sometimes he winds me up a bit, but he gets away with it. Where you think
Rodri.
like, bro, play that quicker in it, but
What
somehow he
about
comes out with it.
Curtis Jones?
Bernardo Silva, would you say?
Oh, so yeah, Roger.
Yeah. So
Now Bernardo dangerous with it, bro, and drop two shoulders.
He's got.
No one in Spurs midfield really.
Yeah, like what Tony said as well. Martin,
Would you say Basuma is one?
When
Or
he's
not?
when he's on it,
Yeah.
but he reminds me of Rabiot. Like Rabiot will decide when to play good or not. He just comes across that way. Like he'll pull out of 50-50s and stuff, and it's like you have ability. I know Basuma. You got ability, bro. But
Who
like
was the one that put Rice in the air as well yesterday, bro? I actually enjoyed that.
Højbjerg.
Højbjerg. Hey, Højbjerg
Yeah.
was on smoke yesterday. He was the man in the match, bro.
That was that Spurs and Arsenal. You know what I mean? You could just tell
Yeah,
there was a little bit left in that challenge. Like he didn't need to be so aggressive in that, but he was. But now the only reason why Arsenal was, I was just trying to see what type of players you guys were like. And by the way, all the players that you named, I would probably agree with all of them anyway. I was just trying to see what type of players were they that you guys were picking. But I guess you came up with
Adam Wharton's pretty cool under pressure.
I need to see. I like Wharton, by the way. I really, really do.
That's what I'm
I just
saying.
need to
The
see him a
limited
bit
sample
more.
size.
Yeah.
With the limited sample size, he
This man
looks
got
like
call up after 2 months of good football, man. That's great.
Hey, sometimes you got it or you don't got it.
Yeah, we're just giving stuff out now for free. All right, fair enough.
Hey, like I said, you got it or you got it. Trent Alexander, the Scouser in the team.
I don't see the point.
6.57.
I don't see the point of him playing in midfield if you're not going to play runners. Like Wharton can just do that job, what he's doing right now. Mainu can do it.
I hear it.
So it's like
Nah,
if
but
you're
Ben
not
created more
Wharton,
chances yesterday than anyone else. So Wharton can't do that, or Mainu can't do that.
I think Wharton can. I think Wharton can
What the
create.
chances
but
Trent was creating? Nah, bro.
I think he has it in his locker. I've seen it a couple of times for Palace, where he has created good
Yeah,
opportunities.
I've also seen Basuma make those passes, but you wouldn't say that he's a creator either.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
seen players do it, bro. There's not enough sample size to say Wharton. He's just a hype guy, man. But my bad, go ahead, Harris.
But
Talk
he
to you, man, about putting
don't-
players in
I
chairs
don't-
and that, bro, early.
You know the thing
think-
with Trent, I feel also. Oh no, go on, H, go on.
Yeah, I don't see the point of him really being there if you're not gonna play runners. Yes, he does create, but it's like you want runners in the team and you need runners in the team for Trent to really be at his best. Other than that, he's just been average, really. Not too bad, not great. So I'll give him a 6.
So what you just said there is important. You need all right. Think about it like this. What player out there plays for a big club right now has the same dilemma? You need runners next to him if you're gonna put him in midfield. He can create chances, good crosser. Defensively, there's some moments where Kimmich will sometimes and
Yeah.
in the Hansi Flick era, it worked because you had Thiago next to him, Goretzka, etc. So you had the certain midfielders. If you're going to play Kimmich, who I believe is a right back, if you're going to play him in the midfield, because he'll do the inverted thing too, Kimmich, a right back, he'll invert, whatever. You need the proper players next to him to complement that skill set. For me, he's the English Kimmich, not in like the exact skill sets or anything. You know what I'm trying to say though, right? It's like a player that people view like, oh, Kimmich, in midfield. Oh, like he's obviously a midfielder, but it's like I've been watching Bayern for 7-8 years. It's like Kimmich for me is a right back. because when you put him in midfield, you need way too many specific circumstances, players, etc., the certain opponent to play against, where it just don't work. For me, Trent's a right back. There are positives and negatives to his game at right back, but I feel like there are more negatives than positives in midfield in this setup. And he didn't play well yesterday for me. That's the thing.
For example, if you play him in like the De Bruyne role for City, I don't think there's as much negatives as there are positives. But when you're playing him as a 6, where he has to face his own goal and play up from the back, where he can get pressed, that I think that's a big negative for me, because I don't think he can get out of tight situations. He's not exactly press resistant, is he? So I feel like that's a bit of a hindrance to the team. But then again, you do miss Trent's long passing, his creativity. So it's 50-50.
Yeah.
And
also, like we talked about earlier, like we talked about earlier as well, it's like Saka, yes, he's not the most electric, but he is quick. He will get in behind, but it's like if you sub on wingers that have some pace, that can penetrate, that can get in behind, so that you can enable Trent. If you played him at freaking right back or in the midfield next, if the circumstances are all sorted out, then you can actually see what his positives are to his game. That's what it is, and it's like, so I didn't think he played that well. So,
I think that I think it's funny because like listening to what you guys are saying, it's just kind of the same stuff that I've been saying anyway about Trent. But I think that's always been, I think, not the problem, because problem sounds like something.
Conundrum.
Conundrum probably is probably the best word. Like, when you need so many specific things in order to make something work.
Yeah.
Does it really work? Like, to me, I'm like, does that really work then? If I need the whole building to be built in order for this to be put, like, doesn't really make sense to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you're going to end up just forcing something that doesn't need to be forced, when you know what has worked, what does work. So just continue doing that. Now, it all then depends on the player, right? And by the way, this isn't really not pertaining to the England game, because obviously this is just more him as an individual, and this conversation is just going to continue on for time. But it's always going to be a thing with him, because of course I know he wants to play midfield. I know he sees himself as this kind of player.
And so does Kimmich. And so does Kimmich
and so does someone like a Kimmich. The problem that you in Trent's case, the problem that he's always going to have is that until you've got something more about your game in other areas, it's going to be a no. It's really a no void kind of situation, because you don't offer anything outside of what you're actually really good at. But my thing is, in my eyes, I'm like, you keep seeing that as some type of weakness. You keep seeing that you can only shoot webs with your hand, but you for some reason want to be the guy who has an iron mask and all of this. I'm like, why are you always trying to look for the deficiencies that you don't have, when you are the sickest person at doing this? You could just evolve that. How about you learn to evolve what that looks like now? Because if you was to do that, oh my God, then you know what I mean? You'd be consistently known as this person. But it's almost like, nah, because I feel like I want to be this guy because I've had a little taste of what it's like to wear the iron mask. So you know what? Maybe I need an iron suit as well, as we've seen. Maybe I do need an iron suit, and maybe I do want to start using these powers for X, Y. I'm like, yeah, the problem is you're stepping into territory that's got like that you don't really know. Not to say that you couldn't adapt to it, you couldn't be amazing at it, and blah blah. We don't know. We actually don't know until we obviously, of course, we see it happen. But at this moment in time, it seems like it's going to take time to get to that point. And who knows?
And you're in a tournament. To get to that. Where's the time?
And you're in a tournament. Yeah, we're in a free game tournament. At the at the minimum, you got 3 games here. So like, when we got time to start worrying about he can do this, he can do that, blah blah blah. I just think that with him, man. For me, I would just be putting him on the bench now. Like I don't even see the point in him playing, because what's he coming to play?
You wouldn't drop him for Walker.
Nah.
No?
I'd rather just play Walker. Yeah, I'd just rather play. Walker's been good. So I'm like, what would I drop him for? I don't like in that position. I'm like, I don't know if I'll just drop you for
the
that.
front four than before I even think about dropping Trent.
Say that again.
I'd rather drop the front four before I think about dropping Trent.
Yeah, but obviously for formation and player
in
styles.
this setup.
Yeah, like as in, I agree with you. By the way, yes, I 100% would consider looking at that front four before dropping Trent, but it just wouldn't work. So I would be like,
So would you take out the only
although
guy
actually,
that's
no,
creating,
maybe
would you take out the only guy that's creating to add players that's not going to create just to look good and on the pivot?
if I can get more control in midfield, yes.
England should be able to have more control, but if the other
But
players
that's
in and
the
around
point.
you ain't doing enough, but that's not down to one player. And I feel
It
like
is
now
though, because he's not
it
helping to
can't be.
gain that level. No.
It can't be.
But
He was England's. He had the most passes of all the players in your
but this
midfield.
this
So him getting he's definitely helping.
exactly ends. But this is what I'm saying. You're saying what I'm saying. Like I'm not disagreeing with that. But this is the point. You've not mentioned anything about him being a player who can gain a level of control or bring anything other than he can pass the
Tackling stats
football.
was better than the other guys as well. But I don't. I'm trying to understand how is he the weakest link in this team?
No. No one said no. That's
But you
the
said put him on the bench. So for you to put someone on the bench, it means they're a weak.
because
link
he's
in
not the best. Because who else am I going to put in the midfield? There's only two players in the midfield. Two. Who else can I take out? I can't. I couldn't take out Declan Rice because he's the best defensive midfielder we actually have.
You're not putting Gallagher in there.
And I wouldn't put Gallagher anyway. It would only be
why
Trent
do you
or
pick up other
Declan
players
Rice.
that's not doing well, bro? It's not.
No, but so then where would I put Trent? So okay, if I took off Saka, or am I going to put Trent right wing?
Wait, it's not the pivot. It's not the pivot where England ain't scoring goals, bro.
But that's not not why England are not winning games because England.
But it's not the pivot
Denmark's
either. Why they're not?
midfield was running rings around England's midfield for
Exactly because
how
England
many
have
minutes?
nothing in midfield.
Because
By the way,
they
it's
played
not just Trent. It's not just Trent.
Tactically, they played with 5 at the back yesterday, Denmark. So they were always going to overload you in the midfield. So it would always look like they're doing that. Tactically, Denmark had
Serbia, same thing. Iceland, same thing. Like we're seeing the same thing though.
Played the 5 as well, but it's on.
Slovenia play 4 in midfield.
But they did overload us in Slovenia. Did
Slovenia? I don't remember playing Slovenia, but
I don't. The next game for England.
Oh.
What I'm trying to say is this, right? I'm not saying it's his like he is the sole reason why England are not gaining the control of midfield. That like he can't be the sole. Like it's not going to be down to just him one. The problem you're going to have with him in that midfield is that he only offers you that one thing. The problem with offering you that one thing, which is amazing by the way, and he did that the best yesterday. Great. Guess what? You created the most chances. England drew the game. So guess what? See this creating chances stuff. It's not really going to. It's clearly not doing anything. I don't know. Like
yeah, but that's not his job. His job is to help create. He's not the sole creator. That's why you're 10. That's what your wingers' jobs are to do in it.
I don't believe that. No, I don't believe that's true. I don't believe that's true.
No, but I'm saying if you look at his role, yes, of course he's going to create because he's a very creative player. But I'm saying your job in there is to give us some stability with Declan Rice in there, and also if you can add and help us create, then that's great. But the fact is, if you're saying like, I'm not saying we are doing this, but it feels this is the route everyone's going now. I don't think no one's given him the opportunity to actually play the role. It's just about just get Trent out, England wins. Like that's not the case.
No, I don't think anyone's saying that.
No, but that's the tone of the conversation, and that's the tone I'm getting from the chat. Get Trent out. He's not good enough in there. That's fine. You can have that. You can have that opinion, but it still doesn't solve the fact that he created the most chances, and your front four, which I'm gonna rate, we're gonna rate in a second. None of them, man, there gets over a 4, bro.
You're 100%.
You said put him on the bench. Next guy saying put him at right back. Next guy said he's not good enough. I'm just saying from what the panel said.
No. Because factually he isn't though. That's the problem that we're actually having. When you've got a manager who then comes out and tells us, yeah, it's kind of just an experiment. We haven't been able to replace the brother in that we've had there previously. Now I'm sitting there thinking the only difference that you've now had in this whole team in your midfield is one player. There's only one player that you've had a difference in, because he's had the same midfield, by the way. In all these Euros, World Cups that he's had the same midfield. He's had Declan Rice in there. He's had Drew Bellingham in there. The only difference is that he would have either had, what's his name, Henderson or Calvin Phillips. Whoever was fit, and it was mostly Calvin Phillips for a while until he started fucking up. Henderson would jump in, came off the bench a few times in the last World Cup, etc., etc. Other than that, he's had the same two brothers in this team. So he knows his two midfielders are guaranteed. They're always going to be guaranteed. It's always going to be Declan Rice and
Do you know what? At this moment in time, bro, I want Trent out of the team, bro. Just I don't want him to be a scapegoat for this England team. They were shit, and he wasn't the worst player on the pitch.
I've heard that. I've heard that about
Manu
as well. I've heard that about a few other players in this England team.
The only reason why I don't want him in the team, and it isn't because of he's poor. I don't mind. Like I said, I kind of not gave up, but I was like, you know what? Playing in midfield, that's fine. Like, I've got no issues with Trent in the team. My issue comes in where we go back to the manager. If you're not going to play to the brothers' strength, then Trent being in the team becomes so pointless. And guess what happens? 2 games in a row, you end up just taking Trent off anyway, because you don't like what you're seeing with him in the team anyway. So I'm just like, why do you keep persisting with Trent in the team if you don't like what you are seeing? Guess what? Just take him out of the team then. Just take him out of the team and put whoever it is that you want to see in there. Because clearly, him creating all of these chances, he don't care about that. He don't care. There's something within that game, and maybe there's a little bit behind it, but there's something in that game that he's watching, and he sat there and said, out of all the midfielders, I can't take off Bellingham, I can't take off Declan Rice, I have to take off Trent Alexander-Arnold. By the way, it baffles me, you know.
Sub, bro. It's because he's the easiest sub.
Why would he be? Why not take off Declan Rice?
No, because he's the easiest sub, man. Let's be honest, bro. Like, Trent isn't meant to be in there in the first place. So the easiest sub is to do is take off the guy that you know I don't necessarily need to play him in there. You're not going to take. So Bellingham stunk the whole game up. Not one good thing he did in the whole game he stayed on. Rice.
No, we know. Bellingham, Foden, Kane.
That's what I'm trying to get. The easiest sub is to take Trent off. So man would rather leave the guys on that's not doing nothing, but keep the guys on that's doing nothing instead of.
Hence why I say, just take Trent off and put him on the bench, bro.
Nah, man. I'll agree with that. Put him on the bench.
Yeah, just put him. This is what. I don't want why, like. Yeah, this is why I'm not even trying to fight it. Like at first, you know me, I was trying to fight it, bro. Midfield, I'm not trying to see. Then I started seeing midfield. I watched the game yesterday. Trent was calm yesterday. I didn't see. I didn't even when I saw the sub. At first, I knew he was going to take off Trent anyway because I just had this feeling he's going to take off Trent. But when I saw it, I was like, Trent isn't the one I would have subbed him for. But okay, let me see where you're going. Then you heard me before in the early part, exactly. In the early part of the stream, you heard me say, but then you bring on Watkins and then Bowen, and you took off Trent already. Like, what was the point of taking Trent off? Might as well just kept him on. I just said, you know what, bro, for Trent, for you in England setup under Gareth Southgate, my bro, I would have just said, I do what Ben White is doing. Just don't play anymore, bro. Like, why are you stressing yourself over this thing? Like, man is stressing to play for England, to do this and to do all of that, bro. I would just say forget all of this because one, he's not playing you in the correct position, and when he does want to play you in a position you want to play, he's not even doing it properly, bro. Forget all of that. Like, man, not going to keep coming on here every stream talking about England, and every time it's like, yeah, Trent, he done this, he done that. Amazing. That is dope for flipping Trent. And that's what I said. Him creating all those chances, it didn't mean nothing. Why? Because Donny still took him off after 54 minutes. So it didn't even matter. That's what, and maybe I just articulated that a bit wrong. But that's what I meant by it, was that it didn't even matter that he did all of that because you're still taking him off. So what the hell does he even want to see in this team? You know what I mean? Yeah, big up Benny Blanco because he's just chilling. He's just cooling. He's on a beach. Man's doing snoozes and that. Yo, like, he don't give a rat's
James Ward-Prowse too. James Ward-Prowse as well.
Listen, all of them. James Ward-Prowse
should be in this England squad.
Yeah, he should have been picked.
Like, it's just like I said. For now, for me, Trent. Like now, I'm actually. It's so mad. I'm now actually just with you in terms of, brother. Forget all of this stuff. Just
Yeah.
do your own
Not
thing.
worth
There's
the
always,
hassle.
going to be an issue with Trent in midfield, bro.
Yeah.
I know now, even when he has good games, he didn't do this. He didn't. I'm like, bro, like every other player.
Man didn't
The maddest
stretch
thing, he
further
wasn't
enough.
the
Like,
worst player on the football pitch, but you still have an issue as if he's the worst player on the pitch, bro. As if
exactly,
not
and I
playing
don't
it
think he was.
means England win a game of football.
But Enz, and you know, living in this country, you and I both know exactly how the English media and exactly how England, as a country, footballing country, we know how they think, bro. We 100%. We know
I
that
know
they
when I
think
don't live in the country.
it's exactly. We know that England are going to think in their head. You know what? Actually, I'm not even going to say anything. Let's just wait until the next game and see the lineup. Let's just see how that kind of pans.
I hope he ain't in there, bro.
Yeah, but let's move on. Let's move on.
Come on
Anyway.
the bench, bro. Fuck it.
Saka. I know N said 4.
2.
What you meant? 2. What you meant saying?
Nah, no one's gonna tell me you looking exciting, going nowhere is good, bro. Because you man told me Diaz is dead food. So that he did what Diaz did. No output, just ran into shins and shoulders and being isolated. So
Enz, I don't know why you're shouting at me, bro. Like,
tell me, oh my god,
I think it was average.
He was shit.
Like a 5.
I think it was average. 5, yeah.
4, I don't know.
I don't know why you're shouting at me. Enz,
Average
bro.
means
I
you
didn't
started
say
the
he
game
was.
and you did something, bro. Tell me what he done. My point.
Man, I say it's 7s in the chats.
And this is
he was an outlet. That is true.
And this
That's
is
why I'll go, all right,
have
5,
favorite
5.
players, bro. This is what happens, bro. When you have favorite players, somehow what you say about other players don't matter no more. You criticize other players for certain things, and then still big up players for that exact same thing you're criticizing another man for.
To be fair, Saka's an easy target too, especially because of the Arsenal.
He's
thing.
normally one of England's better players, but bro, you have to
Yeah,
pull it.
he is.
Was shit, bro. You weren't good.
And then this guy, Jesus.
Jude.
All right, go on.
I
Let me
thought
hear what
Jude
you
was.
bro.
I thought,
0.
Rotted Bamba.
It looked like you guys were on man down the whole game. Usually he's good defensively like that because he's a box to box, not really like gifted technically on the ball, but wants the ball all the time because he's that kind of guy. That's his personality. Like he likes to take responsibility, get the ball and stuff. But it's like, bro, again, it goes back briefly to the Trent thing where it's like, can you as a manager put the England 11, the right players in the right positions that have complementary skill sets to the partners. Center back, midfield, whatever, and like just do the basics of management. And with the way Jude is playing in that, he's not crashing the box, and that's what he's best at. It's like what the fuck? So 3.
Just give the man a 1, bro.
No,
I've
seen that. I'm gonna go what the chat are saying. The chats are saying 3s. So I'm just going
bro.
what they're saying, bro.
We watched the game, bro, and he did nothing from minute.
These are not my rate. We're all here together, and we're doing it together. If this is my own show, then by myself,
give a 0.
ratings
Then
will be
what's the
different.
balance, G? Then if I give a 0, what does it average out to? Because it doesn't have that average out to a 3.
If Harris, what are you giving Jude?
Oh, I said 0.
Oh, you said that. Oh, right, okay.
I can't argue with that.
I'm gonna say
SoundCloud
0.
is
I gave him a 3 because
No.
But
Okay.
But
Why is
the thing
everyone
is,
shouting at me? Why is that? I don't respond well to shout.
Sorry,
guys.
bro. Sorry.
Why are you shouting at me? I'll give him a 0.
The thing
I'll
is,
just give him
these
a
are the
1,
type
bro.
of performances that I've seen from Bellingham last season, but he will always end up with a goal in the last minute or something.
Yeah.
If Rice is a 3, Bellingham should be lower. Yeah, I hear it. I don't think Rice was as bad as Bellingham.
No, it was, bro.
Okay, we beg to differ. Foden.
7.
Ooh, bro.
It was way better than the last game. He actually,
6.5.
there was a point in the game where Foden was just like, "Fuck it, I don't care about instruction. I don't care about him." He moved centrally. He was like, "Fuck the left wing. I don't care. It's dead anyways because Trippier's not gonna properly overlap." So just for me, it was definitely better. I'd give him like I go 7.
I would give him
Or 6. Sorry, 6. It wasn't as good as Walker necessarily.
I would have. I'll be real. He had shots and stuff, but see me, I don't really care about like that kind of stuff because.
No, I'm listening, man. I'm listening because you know next season when man them tell me certain things, I'm like, well, man had shots in that.
Can I just finish without you interrupting me? Is that okay, Jens? Like, is that all right, man? All right, let me just finish, and then you can say what you want to say. You can crash it on me later on down the line in 3
No, I'm
months.
listening to you and Harris
That's
as well, man, because I know next season when you man are telling me about my days, man, I'm like, make sure you keep that energy for our players.
Hold on.
Sorry,
So,
bro.
I agree with what Steve said. He had a better game than the first game, but I still have this issue that with Foden, he's still doing the same things that Kane was doing, which is why are you dropping so deep that it now becomes a case of, I understand what they were trying to do, by the way. He comes inside. Trippier is supposed to be on the outside. So when someone does get that ball, i.e. Trent, he is supposed to make that switch pass. Or anybody, Kyle Walker, Trent, whoever on that right side makes that pass out to Thing. You see the problem with making that pass out to the left-hand side, right? When you have a player who isn't even left-footed and comfortable really on that left back type of area, where's he running to? Because the reality is Trippier ain't quick. So he's not running down the line. So he's actually looking for someone to play 1-2s with, play a bit of football with at times. Guess what? Foden isn't there because Foden's already done up roaming around the pitch doing whatever it's like he just does whatever he can. Him and Kane do whatever they want to do in that team. And that's what it just feels like when he's playing. So, yes, it was better and he got shots off. But did I feel like he impacted the game? Me personally, no. Like, he had a good 10, 15-minute spell when England had a good 10, 15-minute spell. For the rest of the game, I thought, Foden, you were kind of poor, bro. In my personal opinion. But I will give him a 5.5.
There you go.
Yeah, same with me.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And what are you giving Foden?
I'm going to do 0 because I need to know what the average is out to.
I'm going to average out to 5.
That's high, bro. I think if you have a 0 in there, it should be below 4. But
Harry Kane.
2.
1 scored in it.
I can't lie. If you
didn't score, then
by every metric that I've ever done, if you score, I always bump you up by 0.5 at least.
All right, I'll go with Harris then 2. What did you say, Harris? 2?
2.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah, I'll go 2 as well then.
You know what's so mad? Imagine scoring, and by the way, I agree with this rating, but imagine scoring and you get a 2.
Bro, remember how many times I tried to? Yeah, but like Tony said, man, I'm forever trying to use this to benefit. Nah, do you know what it is, Tony? Because, bro, man just had to deal with these Liverpool fans all the time. When I'm trying to give man decent ratings, they're telling me, shut up, my man was dead food. But now I'm seeing everyone that's Liverpool fans giving ratings for dribbles and looking decent. But we don't share the same energy for our players, bro. That's what I don't get.
Nah, because we're not biased. You know what I'm saying? We ain't biased.
No, you sound like you are biased, but just love the other players more than you love your own ones. I hear it, man.
Yeah, I got a dip, boys. I'm about to watch Mudryk dribble over his freaking.
Oh, yes, guys. Yeah, once big up Steve, obviously, for joining. Once this stream has ended, it will redirect you over to his watch along. So make sure you guys, of course, you stay online here.
Big up, Steve, man.
Take care, boys.
Yeah,
Good day now. Peace.
You too, bro.
But yeah, man. Listen, man. Ultimately, listen, the ratings are just the ratings. I just like talking about it, like more about how people see the performances as opposed to the ratings itself, right? It brings up good conversation and I like those kind of things. But the reality is I don't actually really care about the ratings. It's not really about that. I just like to see where people's heads are at when the people in the chat mostly, what you guys think at times when we're talking about these ratings. Like, how did you see the game and, et cetera, et cetera. But I think one thing's for sure is that we know that Kane was shit. To be honest, England, to my opinion, they were just rubbish. They were all just shit. Like even Kane getting the goal, I just remember thinking to myself, like, Alan Shearer at first, he was like, people have been getting on to Harry Kane and he just needs the one chance to score, and when he scored, he's like, this is why you have Harry Kane, in the team and blah blah blah. He went from that to criticizing the brother in like 20 minutes. He was like, why does Kane keep coming deep, man? Yeah, Kane, yeah, he's not looking good. I'm like, this is you, man, savior. You know, this is the guy that you guys are bigging up every 2 seconds. 1 minute you're praising all of this, next minute you're like, oh no, but he shouldn't. I'm like, bro, pick a side, man. Pick a side, man. But I think with England, especially, that game it brought up a lot of things in it. And I think that's what annoyed people the most, is it brought up the deficiencies that most people have mentioned England have had for a very, very long time. The biggest deficiency, though, that England have got is the manager and the style of play. That's always going to be the problem. And I think until he changes that, it's like I said before, it's not me even trying to, when I was speaking there about like Trent, for example, it's not even about him anymore, because you know what? I don't even mind if he comes back to Liverpool, for example, and he plays in midfield, but I feel like it's going to be played differently, though. It's not going to be played like that. So maybe I will actually see like, oh, you know what? I was wrong. Maybe this does work. Maybe Trent in midfield, yeah, this is the thing going forward. Or I'll just get a better indication as to whether it works or not. As opposed to this, I don't even know what this is, because you're not even giving man the facilities to even try and do his thing. But forget even just Trent. I'm talking, you allow Harry Kane to fart ass around and do what he wants. Foden, the same thing. You got Saka, touchline winger, doesn't really want to leave his area at all. As N said, if he's not, he can't drop a shoulder or whatever, this brother just useless. He's just there for their sake. Bellingham, Donny's on his high horse anyway. He just won Champions League. He ain't trying to listen to what anybody's telling him. I know he's walking around with his chest, bro, feeling himself. Yeah, bro, his chest is puffed out. He's telling people like, "Yo, did you play for again?" Oh, that team.
Imagine man say that.
Crazy.
Who you play for again? Jesus.
What, Palace?
Palace. Them man.
I think we used to play them back in Division 1. Yeah, when it was called Division 1 and that. Yeah, see, it starts getting all disrespectful with that. Like, that's the kind of energy I feel like Bellingham is coming with. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, so listen, man, I think it's just one of those kind of things. And again, it's not to go overboard. Listen, we'll crash it on England regardless anyway, because England are England. But as the table shows here, guys, England are top of the group. You know, after 2 games, they can seal it with I was going to say a point, but who they got?
Nah, bro, I think they need to win.
No, because if they get 1 point, they go on 5. They're playing Slovenia. Slovenia can only go on 3.
Right, say if Denmark wins and Slovenia wins.
If Denmark wins and
Denmark
Slovenia
is playing Serbia, right? So if they win that one, that's them on 5 points. And if Slovenia beats us, then they're on 5 as well.
Oh, yeah. So guess what, guys? England need to get that victory. I didn't even know, man. England need to get that victory. So yeah, I thought England had enough chance to at least draw the game and it might be okay, but we'll see. We'll see anyway come that last game. But what I think people are going to be most interested about is seeing whether or not Gareth Southgate will obviously make those changes, you know, to the team. And I think that's going to be like very, very key for him moving forward. But we'll wait and see, man. But guys, I'm going to leave it there. End the stream. Big up everybody who's obviously joined us this last 2 hours. Hope you guys are blessed. There's obviously football on now, as I mentioned. Once this stream is over, you will be redirected straight over to Steve's channel. So yeah, just make sure you show him some love from myself. Big up Harris, big up Jerry, big up Steve, big up Ends. Ends, have you got anything planned for today?
No, apart from the stream I was mentioning to you, I might do it today still if you're free.
Yeah, I'm free today.
And obviously I'll send the extension over to Harris as well.
Yeah.
I don't want to mention it because I know and then I want to try and copyright it. So yeah. Nah, it's a good. It should be an interesting stream, innit? So
yeah.
If it's not on today, guys, apologies, but hopefully I can get it sorted for today. So obviously, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do. And then man, turn the notification on and you'll see it when it pops up.
Just know, guys, without telling you what it is, just know there will be several arguing going on in this stream. So just prepare yourselves, guys. Yeah, it'll be one of those. But of course, when ends is obviously scheduled it and all that kind of stuff, then, you know, you guys got your notification bells on. So make sure you guys, you know, just wait out for that. And make sure you as well, if you haven't done so already, become a member on Ends Man
Appreciate
TV
that, bro.
as well. It's got
Appreciate
very good content, very good conversations as well, man. Very good conversations, man. Done one with myself. Have you done one on Savage yet? I haven't even checked.
No,
Have
I
you done one
need
on Savage?
to. I need to.
That's what I'm really. I need to. You know what I'm saying? I need to
You
know
remember-
who you go online and that. I need to know. I need to know.
Yeah, I want to, you know what I mean, understand him a bit more. But
Yeah, man.
yeah, I'm
But
sure
yeah.
we'll get a chance to do it. It's my fault, to be fair, because I'm sure if I ask, he'll probably try and make the time to do it. But I haven't asked him yet, so that's my fault.
Nah, man, it's all good. But yeah, guys, please make sure head on over there. Keeping It GTV as well, my other channel. So make sure it's all in my all in the descriptions. It's all in the on my channels page, on my pages channels page. You know what I mean? Make sure you guys just check all that stuff out. I'm G and we're out. Please enjoy the rest of your day and have a very good weekend. Bye, England.